Welcome everyone to episode 15 of L2R2, a PlayStation podcast. My name is Fonzie. I'm joined by my co-host, UK indie game dev, and my bruv from another mom, Callum Monroe. Callum, how the fuck are you doing?
I'm good. I'm really excited to
Right?
see what's going to happen. I've even got a notepad and a pen just in case
Nice.
I need to write anything. I don't know what I need to write down, but who knows?
Just
There might
write
be
down
some
mind
maths
blown.
questions or something.
So yeah, we're here waiting for this Ghost of Tsushima. I'm gonna butcher that name all day. State of play. It's happening in another minute or two. I got the stream ready to go. So yeah, I guess they've already announced it's gonna be like 18 minutes of full length of whatever they're showing. They're showing gameplay. I think this is perfect because we do need to see more of what this game actually is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So is it just Ghost of Tsushima, or is it going to be like that's the main showcase and there's going to be other
apparently
things?
it's just Ghost, and there's no PS5 stuff at all. It's just Ghost, which I'm fine with. But this is a game that they need to promote more because it's coming soon.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's really exciting.
Can't wait. What have you been? You mentioned you've been playing a little bit of some stuff over the week here.
Yeah, so I've been chipping away at Persona 5, which I actually feel has been getting a little bit stale. I'm still loving it, but it's just getting a little bit like repetitive in the way the story's told, and I'm finding it harder to like spend a lot of time with it, but I'm still really enjoying it. And yeah, today I played some on my computer. I played some Mass Effect and tried out Gears Tactics as well. So yeah, I've been
What do you think of Gears?
I love it. I've just finished like the first mission, and it's now taken me to like, because it's a little bit like, it's quite a lot like XCOM, and it's just taken me to like the menu where you can like upgrade and do things like that. So I haven't really got to look at that, but the way it played in the first mission is really cool. I love that like isometric perspective. It sort of really creates like an ambience, and yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I'm not very good at it. I'm not very good at XCOM either, but I love those sort of kind of games. So yeah, really liking it. Yeah. What about you? What have you played?
You know what? I'm actually super deep into the Titanfall 2 campaign. I've never played it.
Oh, nice. No, I've never played it either.
Gotcha. I'm really fucking liking it. I think the reason why I was spurred to play it was our stream is starting. But the news last week was some ex devs from Respawn are starting their own studio, and so I've always meant to play Titanfall, and the campaign is just super dope. The level design is pretty nuts. So I'm actually, you've got to try it and let me know what you think, because some of that level design is some of the best I've ever seen. The gunplay is tight, so it's very like Call of Duty-esque with how you're playing, how you're moving, but the levels are just on another level.
Yeah, I've heard it's a really impressive campaign. It's definitely, and it's quite short as well, quite manageable. So it's definitely one I'll give a go. I think I forgot it on PS1. I think it was free on Plus at some point. So I think I've got it.
You might be right. I think when I bought it, it was like $5. It was super cheap because it's maybe 3-4 years now.
Yeah.
Nice, Callum. So we got a minute left. I'm pretty stoked. This is a game that from what we've seen, it's super beautiful. I trust the game mechanics with like the last Sucker Punch games. I want to know how it's going to transcend into this, because it seems not scaled back, but like you're not in an open city. Everything's spread out a bit.
Yeah, it's kind of almost, probably not to the same degree, but like the kind of thing like when Guerrilla went from Killzone to Horizon, that sort of real jump in style and kind of game. So it'll be interesting to see. It's refreshing to see that these PlayStation studios like Guerrilla went from making a game like Killzone to something so different like Horizon. Now you see Sucker Punch going from something like Infamous to something like this. So it kind of gives me hope that after Last of Us 2, that Naughty Dog will, go for something completely different as well, because, as much as Naughty Dog are amazing, you don't really want to see another post-apocalyptic moody game from them. And even something that isn't a third-person shooter would be nice as well.
You'd have to imagine there's some fatigue there at that team. Like they need to work on something happy or something completely different.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so our stream is starting.
It's going to try and be very... it looks like the PlayStation 4
Yeah, some PlayStation 4 love there. Straight into a trailer, looks like.
Yeah, they don't normally mess around with these state of plays.
Yeah, it's just like thing after thing.
Yeah.
And I love it. They basically copied the whole Nintendo Directs, and it's just the same formula.
Yeah.
We have a lot to show you today about Ghost of Tsushima. Combat, customization, special modes. But first, let's take a look at how you explore the world of Tsushima.
Mm. Yeah, some of the grass, the foliage, it's nuts.
Exploration has been at the heart of our open world design since the very beginning.
That cape looks pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
So we've continually asked ourselves, how can we let the island guide you in the most thematic and immersive ways possible?
Yeah, I like the idea that there's going to be no markers or anything.
Yeah.
I know some people are quite down on that, but it's quite nice. Oh, you've still got something, I suppose.
That just adds to the immersion, the fact that you have to physically, look around and use your environment.
Use the guiding wind. That's pretty cool.
Oh, interesting.
It definitely has looked like it's going to be a very like arty sort of stylized game.
Oh, yeah. I'm terrible at navigation in my own town with like street signs and stuff, so I can't imagine just using the wind. I'm going to be terrible, but still.
Well, I used to love it in like, because I love like JRPGs. I used to love it in like the old, really old like Final Fantasy games, like on the SNES and that, where you figured out where to go by exploring and seeing where you couldn't go.
Right.
Because like at first you won't have like a way to navigate the ocean or rivers or get over mountains, so you're just stuck in this certain area, so you have to explore that area, and then you might find a boat, so then you can explore other areas. And I quite like that. It's sort of, it kind of tells you where to go without telling you, which I imagine is what they're trying to achieve with this in a way.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not the same setting at all, but like I get the same kind of vibes with something like Zelda with the last one, with its open world. You're using your horse and you're really just, you can go anywhere, decide how you want to tackle the world, but just completely different setting for sure. But already it's just crazy fucking gorgeous. I wonder if this is going to make your base PS4 just like take off and completely explode, but we'll see. It's also, I mean, it's constant at the end of a life cycle. It's always pushing as much power as possible. So, I mean, I'm confident they can get it done.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's quite, in a way, it seems quite like foggy, sort of even if you look off like the trees to the left. So I don't know whether they, again, because it's so stylized, they've got these like methods to try and mask certain things.
Right, help with the loading.
Like this farmstead that's been taken over by the Mongols. It can also take you to your next big story moments, or even help you find rare collectibles. But what about the things that you don't know about, that you haven't seen yet, that you don't know exist? Keep your eyes peeled for other visual cues. Smokestacks on the horizons, interesting and odd-shaped trees, or maybe even animals trying to get your attention.
God, I want this now. It's almost like, because it's so new, I'm maybe even more anticipating this versus The Last of Us. Like, it's crazy to think that, but because I don't know what to expect with this, I'm way more excited. I can't say that, man. I'm so stoked for Last of Us 2. I don't know what the fuck I'm thinking.
Yeah, it's quite a unique sort of position to have two PlayStation exclusives so close to each other that both look so great.
Yeah. You think ideally you'd want to spread these around, but I think it's just the reality of crunch and, or like, getting these out in time and Corona stuff happening.
Yeah.
Stay away, my lord. The spirits of vengeful samurai.
I like the Red Dead kind of looks like you can, join different missions by just the people you interact with.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go, Nobu.
Did he grab something there like to build with?
Yeah, so I think there's been like shining like sort of hedges and things. I think as you ride past, you can take the like materials. So I think he's been taking like bamboo and things like that. So there might be some sort of crafting system. It reminds me, the HUD really reminds me of something. I don't know what it is. I don't know whether it's from a game that I've forgotten it had that HUD, but I've definitely seen it before, like something
Gotcha.
similar. I don't know whether whether it is Horizon. I don't know whether it has a similar kind. Oh, it might be Days Gone actually.
Oh, okay.
The way, yeah, the way sort of he interacts with certain things and picks things up, and I think that whole like white sort of just the white on the HUD. I think
Yep.
that's quite Days Gone-esque as well.
So what is he gonna do to this fox? What is he? Okay, he was just praying, and there happened to be a fox there.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I think the fox led him to the shrine.
Oh, I didn't catch it.
Um,
Oh, even the way
that's quite cool.
Yeah, the way the kind of disclaimer or the text fades away, it's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Tsushima is rich with exploration and discovery, and whether you're just following a string of torii gates that'll lead you to
This game is gorgeous. I mean, we'll get into it later, but like, I'm fine with where the state we are at with these games, where I'm not crazy anticipating next gen, just because we're already at this like amazing point with these games.
Yeah, and I think it's quite nice. I think I've said before that because obviously this is clearly open world. The thing I don't like about open world games is when it like you're playing it and you're just like barraged with like markers on your map and like like it means that every time you go into your main quest you're like you're planning your route to try and get as many side quests in as possible, and it just like takes you away from the story. Whereas this seems to be you just walk along and you might notice something and you can go and check it out.
It's like The Witcher
which is what I
suffered from
love.
that.
Yes, yeah, that's why I never got into The Witcher, just because it was so many. It's basically like a big checklist.
Right.
Whereas games like Oblivion, which is like one of my favorite RPGs, you'd be like walking along and you'd see something happening, and then that's it. You're off on a little side thing.
Yep.
Just see some combat now. Oh, he's got some proper samurai armor.
Yeah, I want to rock this outfit in everyday life. I don't know how I can get away with it.
Yeah.
God, that grass is something else.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen a samurai movie, you know what to expect. Two warriors sizing each other up, waiting for the other.
God, one-on-one samurai battles, it sounds fucking awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Yep, you're done. So it's like a slow down mechanic kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, look, it kind of looked like a sort of like a rhythm game kind of thing. Like it was waiting for them to get to a certain point before hitting the action button. I wonder if that's how the combat will be every time.
Maybe just for the one-on-one, or you're right. That's we haven't seen like a large scale kind of way to tackle enemies.
It's got some archery. There we go.
For a samurai, he's not sneaking at all. He's just walking in like a badass. This might be just another way to tackle this.
It kind of looks kind of like a sort of a design sort of like Batman, maybe like old Assassin's Creed-esque.
Yep.
You know, like with the counters and the taking your time kind of thing.
Did he cut that guy's arm off too? Damn.
It's cool how, like, I don't know if you've noticed, like, after each strike, his sword will stay there. Like, it doesn't reset to, like, a standard pose every night all the time.
Oh, okay.
Mine just started buffering.
And the way you see the enemies, like, stagger and then die, that's so, like, cinematic to see them just, like, realize and then they kind of fall slowly. I love that.
Mine just started buffering, so hopefully I don't disappear.
So far, they're just transitioning into another scene here. Jin the Ghost.
Managed to refresh now.
Okay, so it's just like a nighttime setting with the same horse. It looks like the same compound.
Yeah, just at a different time. That looked really cool.
Oh, okay, so it's like different loadouts.
Yeah.
Using fear as a weapon. Yeah, you're basically Batman in feudal Japan. This is pretty dope. God, so brutal.
Yeah, that's cool. It looks really cool.
Yeah.
That samurai combat looked awesome.
Mm-hmm. And I want them to kind of really scale it to where it's like more personal interactions, and I think it makes those fight scenes more tense.
Yeah.
Like you're not just hacking and slashing, you really have to think about how you're tackling these enemies.
It's quite interesting because I mean, if you look at, I mean, I know that this is a showcase of a PlayStation exclusive, and it's very different. But if you look at sort of like this, the quality in this compared to what was shown at the Inside Xbox and like next gen
right
thing, like and again, I know it's kind of different qualities to compare, but I mean, I think this looks far better than AC Valhalla, and that was supposedly a next gen gameplay video.
That's the benefit of I imagine developing for one architecture, one structure. Sure. You know what your limitations are, and you can use them to your advantage.
Yeah.
Jesus. I like to see this guy's like, nope, I just saw you murder everyone. Yeah. I'm out of here.
I really like that animation there where he sort of threw the knife and he's like clutching at his neck as well. It's brutal.
Okay.
I always like every time I play a game and you like look out over like the next section, you just see loads of patrolling enemies. It always like makes me really tired. I'm like, oh,
these guys.
Like, this is what I've got to do now.
The HUD is so limited. Some of those interactions don't show up until you're like mid jump. I wonder if that might be an issue, or you just become more comfortable with what you can interact with.
Yeah. Hopefully, it will just feel so fluid.
Right.
Like it's kind of like if I remember when Dying Light first came out, I remember watching gameplay and I was like, how on earth are you meant to like be able to free run? Like, how do you know what to do? And I played it and it was just like so easy.
They kind of slowly build all these mechanics to where you know what you can mess with.
Yeah, these are the sort of takedown animations are pretty brutal. And this looks like, you know, this because you know when you watch like the Watch Dogs E3 thing and it seems I can't imagine this is going to be dumbed down.
Right.
This looks like how it will be, because in a way you can see like minor imperfections. I mean, it looks amazing, but you can see like the minor imperfections that would otherwise probably be ironed out if it was a, you know, like an E3 showcase that would end up changing.
Yeah, you're totally right. I'm hopeful this is so close to the final build. If not the final build, you'd have to imagine.
Yeah. I can't see there being any downgrades from this.
Was that car zipping by? Is that from the game, or is that from the
background? Yeah, we live near quite a big road, and people like to race now. It sounds like.
I thought maybe there's a Gran Turismo crossover somehow in this. Or...
God, that'd be a way of announcing it, wouldn't it? Yeah, so those charms were to do with that shrine he saw. So when he prayed at that shrine, it said one of 3 will unlock a charm or whatever. So perhaps that's one way of getting them.
I see.
It looks really cool, and I think I said before, but like that, where the menu there with that just white and really simple color scheme, it really reminds me of the Three Kingdoms Total War. The sort of art style they used for that, which is amazing, and I'm really glad they've sort of adopted that same sort of like paintbrush sort of you know, simple colors. It looks really nice.
I was gonna say, if this game doesn't have a photo mode when it launches, I'm gonna ride in the streets like those dudes protesting lockdown with my AK. It's like, we need photo mode day one.
You know, I've never used photo mode in any game.
What?
I've never tried it.
Jesus, man.
Never tried it.
Well, I understand that, like, I debate it because it takes you out of the game, but a game like this, so beautiful like this, maybe after you've completed it, then you go back and do that, but...
Yeah.
God damn.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I think it's really cool. I think photo mode's awesome. I've just never... I've never really been interested in, like, photography as a whole, like...
Gotcha.
it's just one of those things I've never really thought I'm like very good at, so I've never even bothered trying it.
Yeah, true. Same here. I just like to, sometimes I'll document like just a cool experience or whatever, but really there's people that are just like, they will go all out and create these amazing pieces of art just within already a beautiful game.
I see it on like PlayStation's Instagram, like when they share like the photo of the week or whatever, and just some of them look amazing.
Yeah. It also shows me they're just like confident in their engine. Every time a photo mode is there, they're like, hey, you know what? Move the camera as much as you want. Have fun, because we're confident we've completely, there's no seams that are visible. It's like, that shows me, okay, they're confident in what they're doing.
Yeah.
On the dev side.
I don't think the Japanese voice track actually seems to suit it at all.
Really?
No, that seemed a bit weird though, I think.
Were they describing, I didn't catch if they're saying like you can play the entire mode, the game like that?
It seemed like it's you know how if you play like a Japanese game and then you play the English version, it doesn't quite match the mouth moving. That it seemed like this has been done with English VO first, and then the Japanese is a secondary sort of thing. Whereas like if you play Sekiro, that's Japanese first, so when you play it in Japanese, it seems really good. Yeah, that just seemed a bit like you could really tell it was voice acting, if you know what I mean.
Gotcha.
That's all right. I mean, I'll play it in English. It's not a problem.
This cinematic mode, is this just like for the samurai duels, or like you can play the whole game like this? It looks super dope like this.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it looks really cool.
Although to miss out on some of the color that they showed previously would be a crime, though, at the same time.
Yeah, I think this is definitely like I'll just try this out for a little bit kind of thing. But yeah, it looks really cool. It's a cool addition. Makes me want to watch old samurai movies now.
Right.
I mean, I think they've built this is a franchise, like a potential sky's the limit kind of thing, because if they nail this, which it looks like they're going to, I mean, I feel like this is just, we'll keep seeing stuff like this with PS5. I mean, I can't wait.
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, I think they did so well there, because they could have really like gone down the whole showing more story, but they didn't show any story there. It was just gameplay. They've showed so much story already, that just to focus on the gameplay and the mechanics, that was awesome. That was really, really good. I think I said to you before that I was excited for the game, but you know, looking at Sucker Punch's last game, Infamous Second Son, I was like, I don't really know why I should expect such like a great game, but that looks incredible. That looks really, really great.
And that's what they needed to do. They needed to show off what exactly is the gameplay with this, just to put everyone, you know, I guess at ease somewhat, because we just didn't know the details with this kind of thing. And now we do.
Yeah, it looks really, really awesome. Very excited for that. Very, very excited. I have to make sure I'm done with Last of Us 2 by then.
That's true. What, we have a month in between from Last of Us 2 to Ghost?
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, really excited. And that, to be honest, I'm quite glad that is coming after The Last of Us, because I think that kind of world looks like you'll probably spend more hours with that than Last of Us 2, I'd say.
I think you're right, with open world nature to it.
Yeah. I think Last of Us 2 is meant to be sort of fairly like not linear, like, but yeah, I think it'll still be a bit more rails driven than that looks. But yeah, I'm super excited. I mean, if you take that and the story trailers away, they seem like they're from different games, which I think is really cool. And I think that's something Days Gone did really well, is that it had a really good story. I didn't finish Days Gone, to be fair, but I really enjoyed the story and the gameplay as separate things. And I don't think it made any attempts to try and make the story and gameplay sort of like bounce off each other, which can be an issue sometimes. But I think because of the way the Days Gone world was done, with all these really fun like game things, which Ghost of Tsushima seems to have, I think it's really nice to sort of have like these two parts to a game, sort of like you've got the story its characters. Then you've got a really fun game with really fun explorative mechanics and lots of things you can do. So yeah, I definitely do see a lot of Days Gone in that. I know that a lot of the PlayStation studios work together. But yeah, I think that looks really, really, really great. Super excited.
I can already see with the replayability how you have the different loadouts with your samurai. You have the more like combat focused or sneak based stuff where you can go back into a compound and just tackle it differently.
Yeah, so yeah, they didn't really talk about that too much, really, like in how whether that's something you can always chop and change out of. Or whether that it's more of like a choice, like it's sort of like a path you have to go down, or maybe they did, I just didn't notice. But it seemed to me like it could just be, if it depends on the climate, the weather, how you approach it. 'Cause if it's daytime, then you might want to put all this armor on and go in like that. Whereas if it's nighttime, you might want to take your armor off, be a bit more free. I think both would be awesome. I think having the choice at any time to pick and choose would be really cool. Right. But also maybe having a choice that's more permanent would also be cool. So whichever route they take there, that'd be cool.
I wouldn't mind the leaning on the realism side, where say with like Red Dead, where you were kind of limited to your guns that you could carry on your horse, on your person. So with this, like if you want to have your super aggressive style of samurai, you have to go to some shop, grab your stuff, and then run out there, versus like switching on the fly. But yeah, you're right. Did they confirm a day and night cycle, or is it like tailored to the places that you go to?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm not 100% sure. So I don't. From looking at that, it seems quite gamey in the way that you've got like the flashing bamboo that just so you can pick it up. So I think if I was to guess, I'd imagine that you can probably choose what the time of day is, rather than there being, and then like you're saying with the whether it's going to take like a Red Dead approach with sort of carrying and realism. I don't, just from the way I saw him pick up the bamboo and it'd be like bamboo times 4 and pick up the linen. I think it looks to me like it's trying to be a game first. And try, especially with all the customization that you see at the end, where he's got all the different colored cloaks and hats and things. I think maybe it'll be a lot more gamey, which I think's really cool, because as much as Red Dead 2 is supposedly one of the best technical games, I think it's hard. The only reason it gets away with that realism and that sort of groundedness is because of how incredible the rest of the game is. Whereas I think Ghost of Tsushima probably won't have as much of an alive and breathing world as Red Dead 2, just simply because of the amount of production went into Red Dead 2 to do that. So I'd imagine that they're probably going to keep this on the fun side, and it looks like that as well. I mean, the way that he infiltrated that camp seemed like so much fun. Right. It just seems like they're giving the player so much agency over how they can play, and so it looked to me like they're maybe not looking for the most realistic approach, and that also seems to be the way with how, when they first announced the game, they straight away said it's not going to be historically accurate, so don't bother sort of having a go at them if something's not quite right.
People have their keyboard ready to post this didn't happen, this happened. It's like, hey, it's a game first. Which I imagine they're so conscious in balancing the being respectful, but also it is a game, so having those game mechanics in there. But I think you're right. I would imagine also, because of the way what they've shown, that it's going to be a bit more on the just not lighter side, but how you play is going to be focused on just making sure it's fun in the first place.
Sure, yeah, and I think that going back to Red Dead 2 again, I think that seems to be the main focus there, was to create a world, a dynamic, interactive world, and I don't think that they wanted to necessarily make it fun first. I'm not saying that it isn't fun, but I think that the immersion and the feeling of realism was the main thing with Red Dead 2, whereas this seems to be just an awesome game, and yeah, it just looks really cool, and I'm really excited for it.
Can't wait.